Hi guys, so today I'm going to be changing the tyres on my dirt bike. I will say it's a little bit too hot to be changing tyres today, at least for me, and I'm having a bit of a bad hair day, so you're going to have to bear with me, but let's go and get on with it and I'll show you what I've learned over the last 10 years or so. I've got two Michelin Enduro Medium tyres to put on my bike. These are directional, these tyres, so just bear that in mind when you are putting tyres on bikes. There's the arrows there, so, and there's got the same on the back as well, so just bear that in mind when you're doing your own tyres. Right, so I'm going to show you how to remove the tyre. So obviously I've just taken this out. The rear one's really simple to take out. The front one, I'll show you how we do that one, but the rear one's really simple to take out. So so first things first, I've got this valve key or valve tool for taking the valve stem out, or the valve core out I should say. It's just one of the cheap ones. I've knocked through. There's normally a little, like it looks like a little T-bar normally. I've knocked that through so you can get it between the spokes, because I don't need that. Take the dust cap off. I normally place all my little bits on the top of the tyre lube lid. While that's draining, just undo the rim lock. I don't fully undo it, but I just take it enough so you can push it right in. And now you can break the bead. Because I've put the rim lock right undone, it allows you to break the bead on there. If you leave it tight, it just keeps the bead sort of stuck on the inside here, which you don't want. So now I've got some tyre lube. This is from Michelin. I've had this for literally as long as I've been doing my own tyres. I used to use washing up liquid, but the problem with that is it stays on and it leaves a sort of slippery residue, and then the tyre ends up spinning, which can rip the valve out. So I soon learned from that mistake. It does last ages. I don't know what it costs now, but it lasts ages. So I give it sort of liberal amounts of tyre lube. Get it in the bead there. Doesn't need to be all the way round. To prevent myself from wrecking my rims as well, I put these for the first sort of braking of the pulling the tyre over the rim. I put them on. I've got 4 tyre levers. I normally only use 3, but I've got 2 here which have got 2 which are sort of straight, and they've just got a little bit of a tang on the end there. And then these ones got a nice big curve on them, which is really handy as well. These are really good for putting tyres on, or that bit of the curve is really handy for putting tyres on. It's always the way that it's harder on camera. I can normally do a tyre in about 10 minutes. Now I find the easiest way to get it off the rim is to now take the tube out. So, put that to the side for a little bit. Spin it over. I'm going to lube it up again, the same as the other side. Right. Use these horrible tyre things, rim protectors. so slippery. Ooh, under there. Right. Now that's done. See how the wheel drops right inside of it? So we've popped the tyre either side of the rim as if we were going to change the tube on both sides, and now that it's sat right in the rim there, you can just pull it out like that. So we've got this Michelin 140 by 80 by 18 tyre. We'll take this, hang on. Take the label off. Before I put the tyre on, I always clean the rim because dirt and stuff gets inside the wheel here, so you don't want any grit or something that's sharp to puncture your tyre, so I always go around and clean this. A couple of the spoke nipples are popping through here, so what I'm going to do is going to get some tape and just run a ring of tape around it. So as I think I said already, these Michelin tyres have got directions on them, so or a directional arrow, so for it to point the correct way, I've got it like that, the right way around. Just put a little bit of lube around to like half the wheel. I start by putting the rim lock in first. Yeah, what's nice about these levers is it sort of makes it much easier to get the tyre in. I find this to be the hardest part. Once lined up though, it does go in quite easily. Where's the other lever? Oh, that's there. So now we've got the tyre on, we can grab the inner tube. Now, this is something that most people miss out. If you put the valve back in, put some wind in the tyre, put some wind in until it just breaks over your finger. Something about there will do. So you just want it to just break over your finger. It's sort of malleable then. Once you've blown it up, just give it a wipe over with the rag and WD-40, the rag and brake cleaner. Just try and make sure there's no dirt on it. Right, now you want to put the valve where the hole is for it and line that up first. I'm going to fold the tyre up and just stuff it in. Oh, it's a little bit crooked. That's it. And then just work your way around. So I've loosened the tyre back up. I've got the valve stem roughly in the right place around here. I'm going to use my bead buddy, which is just this little thing which goes between the wheel. I'll show you. So I always start just before or after the valve and the rim lock, so you can locate them first. Push the rim lock in place. Right, now it's roughly in. What I'll do, just push down on the tyre, slide it in, and go over the spoke like that, and now we can just go around and pop it in. Yep. Right, the last couple, I use these. So, right, now we'll clean the tyre lube off, and we'll put some wind in it.
Oh, hey, what the hell? What the? Oh, God! Hey, no!
You don't want to leave any of the tyre lube on, or you want to leave as little as possible if you can, because you don't want the rim to spin while you're riding. Also, the valve's not through right now. There's the hole for it. So what I do is take these two tyre levers, just poke it up, and then you might not be able to see it, but the valve is right there, so I just use the tyre lever to poke it through, and that's the valve through then. Just square it up and put some air in it. Right, that's got it. Now we'll put extra pressure in just so it seats all the way round. It's mostly gone on already though, but just over pressurise it and then let it down. That's all done. All the wheel spaces are cleaned out. Just need to clean the brake disc actually. Make sure there's no tyre lube on it. It's ready to go back on now. Just reduce the pressure. I always leave it about 20 psi and then I do it at the track depending on the conditions. Saves me having to re-pump it up when I get there. I'm going to get on with the front tyre now. I start off by loosening off the stub bolts for the front axle. The way you know which side to loosen off first, and the side which has got the nut on it it's got a bigger size nut on it. So this one here covers the whole stub axle, and this one here you can actually see would slide in through the stub axle, but you'll be able to see that on your dirt bike specifically. So loosen off the side which has got the bigger nut on it, and then it's a 17mm for the KTM, 17mm, or it's a bolt actually, not a nut. So it's free there now. I leave it just in a little bit, loosen off this side. And then you can knock that through. Out, you can see it's a nice little aluminium nut. I normally just use the end of the socket, ratchet, poke it through. It's enough to pull it out, and that's it. That's the front tyre out. I'll clean that axle up before we throw it in. That's the wheel off, let's throw a new tyre on. Right, that was quick. Let's throw it on. So before putting the wheel back in, I take the wheel spacers off either side, and then I normally just use brake cleaner. I take them, I clean inside the seal, clean the spacer, I clean the disc as well with a fresh rag, and then I just put a little bit of grease on these wheel spacers as well. Simply because obviously them spinning inside the seal there, you don't want the seal to be on metal with a bare surface, on a sort of non-lubricated surface really. Nothing really is ideal really, like for that area there, because dirt gets in there and damages the seals. But I always keep spare seals just so I can replace them. Now, I've also cleaned the shaft and I've re-greased it, just a small smear of grease on it, just so it goes in and out smoothly. Worth noting that there's a step on the shaft there. That step goes from, if you're sat on the bike, from the right side in. You can see because the step sits in that fork stub there, and it wouldn't fit through this one here, so it wouldn't fit through that one there, so that's fine. So now we're just going to put the wheel back in. I haven't pressed the brake, so the brake will be adjusted correctly still. I find it sort of easier just to put the wheel in like that, crooked, and then offer it up to the brake and lift it in. So, the brake pop in. Right, sometimes it catches on this little bit of the stub there, so you just got to twist it, slide it through. Right, if you nip this stub up here, because this one will just spin freely, so you nip that up, and then you've got the clear hole there for the nut to go, the bolt to go on. Again, we'll get the 17mm. This torques, you have to torque this up to 35 millimeters, newton-meter, 35 newton-meters. So I normally just check. Now what I do is release that, so now this, basically the axle wants to sit freely between the two stubs. Obviously where I pinch that up and tighten that side, it could actually pull the axle in together. So I can do it myself here. You probably can't see it, but I can push the stub in. So you want that to be sat central, otherwise the fork seals will blow. So leave them both free like that. Now we take it off the stand. Just up and down a couple of times. So these torque up, the fork stub torque up to 15 newton meters. So obviously every time you torque one bolt, because they're sort of side by side, it loosens the other one off. So you see you can get a little bit more. I just go until they don't turn at all. That's it. Same the other side. That's it. Perfect. Now the front wheel is done. I hope you all enjoyed the video and maybe learned something. I know my posting schedule is pretty bad at the moment, but I'll try and do a little bit better if I can. With work and everything, it's not easy for me. But until the next time, thanks for watching.